Awesome. Hello. Welcome, retail shippers and the ones that were in Dallas at the Expo and the ones that weren't. We'll be sending this out to all the members. My name is Eddie Hill with Prosperous Internet Marketing. That's exactly what we do. We do online marketing for local brick and mortar businesses. Now, we love all kinds of industries. We love our lawyers and plumbers and roofers and stuff, but we truly love our retail shippers. We've been involved for about a year and a half. We went to the Expo last year. We got to know a lot of you. I brought on about over a dozen clients, probably 14 clients last year, and really got to know the industry very well. And we realized that we love this industry, gives good people that we can help. So we went aggressively this year. We again went to the show. We had a booth, and now we got dozens and dozens of other people interested, and we're signing them up each day. And I got a bunch of people I've got to talk to this week and next week. So super excited to be working with all you guys. But I'd like to give free will, like free content to you that you can apply and implement. Because there's, let's face it, so out of whatever, there's, I think 7,000 members for RS, and then like 1,800 paid members. And, about less than 2, 3, 5% will use our use our services or want to use our services, which is fine. But I still want to give valuable content to everybody else. I know Brandon's, he's an amazing guy. I think he's a genius. But anyway, he actually jumps up and down and said, hey, we need to help this industry any way we can. And I 100% agree with him. And my thing is, I feel like if I put goodwill out there, that someday, if you need our services, that you'll think of us first at least. So that's my motives. So at the very end, I'll give you my pitch. And the pitch is simply this: if you don't want to do everything I just showed you, we'll do it for you. Contact us and we'll set up a strategy session. So I just did the pitch in advance. That's it. So everything else is going to be pure content. So please watch through it, rewind it, fast forward it, whatever you need to do. Hopefully you get something out of this, because I'm going to talk very much specific. So if you're in my class, you'll know I kind of speak fast. But the good news on a recording, you can pause it and you rewind it if you need to. So okay. All right. So welcome to the training. I believe that there's 3 pillars to success, and in any form of life, but of course, especially as a retail shipper, but as a business owner, even as a store owner, brick and mortar owner, these things dramatically will affect your success. So number 1 is going to be mindset. So for the next, this is going to be about 45, 50 minutes long, maybe a little longer if I tell weird stories. But for the next 50 minutes or so, I am going to dig into some mindset. I have to talk about that side of things because it definitely affects the way we do things, if we do things, 1, and the way we do things, 2, and then also the results that we get, 3. So mindset is what I consider 30,000-foot view. It's this overview of looking at things, working on your business instead of in your business, those kind of things. And you're here hopefully to learn some things, how to work on your business. But that's only step 1. Step 2 is skill set. This is literally in the trenches. Step 1, do this, do this, this. I'm going to give you very specifics of what to do. This is working in your business. These are applying what you're learning, and skill sets. So you need to know exactly what to do. The problem is I get a lot of questions like, well, I don't know what to post. I don't know how to get to top of Google. I don't know how to get more reviews. I don't know how to, I don't know. Well, I'm going to give you specifics for the next 50 minutes, and I'll explain to you what I think you should be, exactly what I think you should be doing for your retail shipping store. And then the last one is the most important, is get off your ass. This is where you actually take action. So everything you learn is meaningless. It's actually head knowledge, good for trivia, I guess, but it's absolutely meaningless in the world around you unless you apply it. So I'm going to jump up and down and hopefully get you to apply some of this stuff. All right. Back in the 60s, there was these sick scientists, if you want to call them that, they used to mess with monkeys all the time. It was just one of the things that they did, and thank God they made them stop. But now some of this is urban legend, but I did find some videos of this that it actually did happen. But what they did is they put 5 monkeys in a room. They put an A-frame ladder in the room, and then they put a set of bananas at the top of the room. And like any normal monkey would do, guess what they were doing? They went to try to go get the bananas. But these crazy scientists took a fire hose and they sprayed the monkey off the ladder. And then not only that, they sprayed the other 4 monkeys that were standing around. Absolutely crazy, and just completely wiped them out, knocked them down, got them wet. And of course, as you know, monkeys hate water. So then another monkey tried to climb up the ladder. They spray him with water, then they spray the other 4 as well. And then they kept doing this until no monkeys would ever even touch the ladder or get anywhere near it. So once that's happened, they replaced one monkey with a brand new monkey and put him in the room. Of course, that new monkey was like, why is everything wet? And then you look around and you say, hey, there's some bananas. I'm going to go get them. So what happened is he went to go climb up the ladder. Well, those other 4 monkeys literally pulled him off the ladder and beat the crap out of him. You can tell he's just so confused. He didn't understand. So he just stood there and he didn't try to go get the bananas anymore. So then they replaced another monkey that was wet before with a new monkey. And after all monkeys were replaced, all 5 monkeys were replaced, not one of them was shot with a fire hose, but none of them would climb the ladder, and none of them knew why. So the relevancy to us as small business owners and retail shippers is, I hear this all the time, and I mean this in the nicest possible way. But everybody says, this is the way we've always done it. This is how we grew our business. This is how we did it 20 years ago, or 15 years ago, 10 years ago. This is the way we've always done it. And you may not know why. And so if I ask you why you do it that way, or why don't you do it this way? A lot of people give me some pushback because this is the way we always done it. So I want you to think a little differently. Not that we're monkeys, because we're not. We're a little beyond that. We have a bigger space between stimulus and response. But we need to check what we're doing, and check our ruts and say, is this best for my company, and does this help me grow my business? I am going to throw at you some new, unique ideas today that you may have never thought of. And it is a new way of thinking. And I want you to, instead of just squelching it or, say, no, that doesn't work for me, maybe take a look at it and say, hey, can I implement this? And if I do implement this, will this help grow my business? And hopefully you'll see that it will. All right, so I like commitment. In the scenario of bacon and eggs, the chicken is involved, but the pig is committed, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to ask you to be the pig today. I want you to commit. This is for your own good, not for me. I'm not going to totally check up on you. But I think if you commit to applying one thing, just one thing, and implement it in your business, you'll see what I call the upward spiral. What's going to happen is you're going to implement, and it's going to actually have some good positive results, and you're going to go, hey, I need to keep doing this. So I really want you to commit to doing at least one thing that I'm showing you today. Now I'm going to show you dozens of things. If you can do more than one thing, that's even better. But please, make a commitment to yourself that you're going to be the pig and be committed. All right. So what is your job title? So I know all of you, chief bottle washer and, custodial engineer, all of us do a lot of things, right? And I wear all those hats too, but I'm going to argue that you need to at least add one more hat. If you have this hat, you think you need to do it more often. And I think you also need to strategically do this. The hat is marketing. I need you to put on a marketing hat at least bi-weekly, if not weekly, definitely once a month or more. And some of you may be doing this. Some of you are not. That I've talked to, it's just I'm too busy, I'm too busy. Well, I would argue that as business owners, this is probably one of your biggest priorities as a business owner of what you should be doing. You should need to be thinking, how do I grow my business? Which means marketing, right? The only way to grow a business is sales and marketing. Sales is part of marketing. Marketing is not part of sales, but sales is part of marketing. And you need to be thinking, how do I grow my business, and strategically plan that. So I do that myself on my own business. So, once a week, we set aside an hour to brainstorm or to literally hone down what we're doing for inbound leads, for how we get leads inbounds. And also we hone down our marketing for outbound leads. And of course, we talk about sales as well, which is, outbound sales. So you should do the same. And I'm going to argue that it will help you dramatically. And this is probably one of your most important hats that you should be wearing. Elon Musk, so I bring him up. He put a car in space. This guy's nuts, right? I don't know what the $100,000 car or something like that, but probably cost him $1 million to put that thing in space. But he's a marketer. And now, if you talk to him, I heard an interview with him, and they said, what are you doing there, putting the car in space? And he's like, I realized quickly once I became the CEO of this company that my engineering skills were not what they needed, right? I have dozens of engineers that work for me that are much better than I am, much smarter. He goes, but what I realized what I was a marketer. As the person that's in charge of this helm, I need to be the marketer. And that's when he put on the marketing hat, and he did all this cool stuff. I think you do the same thing on a local level. You don't need to put a car in space, but on a local level, you can be thinking strategically this way of how can I, get more traction out of what I'm doing on a local level. All right. So people do business with people, and then it goes on, but let me stop here. I like to explain this because we're going to get into this. This is part of the mindset. People do business with people. It is human beings that you're doing business with. They walk into your store. And I would argue in your business, in the retail shipping business, it's even more so because a lot of things can be done online nowadays. A lot of things can be done, without emotions, but you are dealing with people every day, and you see people over and over and over again, and you get to know them. You become friends. Like some of you guys, when they walk in, it's like cheers. You say their name, you give them hugs. Well, you understand that that's what you're doing. if that's true, which it is, if people do business with people, you need to realize that I need to engage more with people and get them to know, like, and trust us more. So that's your duty as a business owner or a manager or whatever. You need to get more people to know you, like you, and trust you. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. Now, like I said, people do business with people. It's not corporations. It's not the machine or whatever. It's individual people. It could be, you could be dealing with a $50 million corporation, but it's a person. It's an individual that you're actually talking to. So today, we don't have time to get into everything, but the best way to get more people to know you, the best way to get more people to like you, the best way to get more people to trust you is reputation marketing, search engine marketing, and social media marketing for online anyway. And I think you should implement each of these as well as offline tactics. And we'll talk about a couple of things and a couple of ideas that you can do. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. So your duty, it's your job to get more people to know you. It's your job to get more people to like you, and your job to get more people to trust you. So explain the know part of it. The know you is your circle of influence, right? So how many people know you is what your circle of influence. And they say, based off of your friend list on Facebook is your general circle of influence. I mean, that kind of holds water. I mean, it's a blurry line, but I mean, in general, if you have 500 people that are friends on your Facebook, that's probably what your circle of influence. Now, there may be more because some people don't do Facebook, whatever, but that's a pretty good number. So for me, I strategically try to grow my circle of influence, not just on Facebook, but offline too, shaking hands, doing things, all the things that you do in a community, whether it's a chamber or, the individual things with the community, you can grow that circle of influence. Well, I'm going to show you how to do that online as well. Okay. The like part of it, the like is, people may know you, but they may not like you. And if they don't like you, they're not going to do business with you. Right. And same thing with trust. If they may know you, they may actually like you a little bit, but they're going to look up your reputation. And then if they don't trust you, they're not going to do business with you. So how it goes is just like this. And you can write this down. Know, like, trust, try, buy. And then there's one more after that. So, but know, like, trust, try, buy. The try is dip their toe in the water. They want to come try. I mean, may come bring, may say, I'm going to go there and try. I'm going to get like 10 copies made, or I may ship this one package. But normally I go to this other place, but I'm going to try this place. And what's going to happen is either they're going to have a great experience or not a good experience. And they either come back or they won't come back. So that's the like part of it, right? So if they like you, they're like, hey, I'll come back. And since I tried them, now I'll buy them. Buy them deep means I'm going to shift my entire business over to them. When I have a need in anything in this area, I'm going to bring it to these people because I know, like, and trust them. I tried them already. It was a good experience. Now I'm going to buy them deep. So know, like, trust, try, buy. People do business with people. Now we're going to start with trust. And I always start with trust because everything else falls apart. It's completely negated if you have a bad reputation online or offline. People may know you, may have this gigantic circle of influence. You probably have an idea of what I'm talking about. It could be a local politician or lawyer or local whatever, and you know them, but you may not do business with them because you don't trust them. So trust is a critical part of success. So we'll start with that. And it's one of the things that's going to take the longest here. So online, people trust you by reviews and testimonials, just the way it is. And statistically, if you Google, your local name plus the city, you get your reputation. So Pack and Ship, Pensacola, or whatever you want to type in your physical name. And then you can actually do your phone number too, and it'll come up too. So when you do that, it's going to give you a listing of everything that is, everything that's coming up with that. So this is a different one. This is Pack Mail. And I use this, I don't know where this guy is. He's in Orange County, Florida, Orlando. So if he's on here and watches this, I'll help you for free. I bring this one up because you quickly see that he's got a 2.0 reputation, which sounds horrible, but really he only has 2 reviews. I think one of them's like a 1-star, one's like a 4-star or something like that. It's not horrible, but the poor guy doesn't have it. He doesn't have enough reviews. So it's diluted. It's so bad. I mean, it's so bad that you only have 2. He needs to dilute it. So you want to be careful on what you have too. So the first thing I would do is check to see where you're at. You may not even know this. I'm sure this guy doesn't even have any idea that he has only 2 reviews and one of them's bad. So Google your name and then take it thing. So once you Google your name, you're going to see very specifically the rest of your reviews. This is a couple years old, but it's still relevant today. Do you read online reviews to determine whether a local business is good or bad? And the answer is yes, regularly, yes, occasionally, or no. So 91% 50 plus 41, 91% definitely read online reviews to determine whether a local business is good or bad. That's probably you. It's me. I know that's just the way it works nowadays. So, and then how typically do you find your reviews? Use a search engine, or do you go directly to review site? Most people just Google it, and then the search engines, the review sites come up. So you can do it. Let me go back a couple and see if that's live. Okay, cool. So I just searched Creighton Pack and Ship Business Center, and look what happens. So his reviews are right here, 4.6, which is excellent. But then you got Facebook, he's got a 5.0 there. But as you go down, you got Manta, which is Dun and Bradstreet, just so you know. He doesn't have any there, otherwise it would show it. MapQuest, Yelp. You got a bunch of other ones. Page 2. By the way, if you ever want to bury a dead body, you put it on page 2 of Google. Okay, so you're going to have other review sites on here too, but you can basically see where you're at with reviews just by searching your own name. So hope that helps. Let me go back into this there. Okay, cool. So this is a writer down. When I saw this it was hard for me to fathom because I had to put it in my own terms, but they asked this poll, and they surveyed several thousand people. Do you trust online reviews as much as a personal recommendation? And 84% said yes. Yes, always. Yes, I believe the reviews are authentic. Yes, for some types of business, and yes, multiple reviews, whatever. But 84% trust an online review as much as a friend or family member. That's a ton. So if you think about that, should we trust online reviews? Maybe, maybe not. A lot of them can be fake, but we're trained by Amazon mostly, and eBay did it too. We're trained to look at these reviews. It's just what we do. Now, when we go to buy something, we sort by reviews, then we look at the bad reviews, right? You're probably the same way. And then we kind of see what's going on with that and see if we can trust these people. Just understand that that's what they're doing to you and your business. So you need to get on top of that. 84% trust reviews as much as a personal friend or recommendation. Okay, so how do you create a reputation marketing strategy, not just a monitoring strategy? We need to market it. So we need to, first off, build our 5-star reputation as close as possible on purpose. So we need to purposely go get these reviews. So let's start with low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit is something simple you can go get. So how do we get some low-hanging fruit reviews? And when I asked the question in the class, they're like, ask customers. Hey, novel idea. We can ask customers for it. Yes, but that's not even the lowest hanging fruit. That's a good low fruit. Ask our customers to leave us reviews, and we definitely want that. But I'm telling you right now, you can get 4 to 5 reviews in the next couple of days, and here's how you do it. In the terms of service, now you read it yourself. I'm not a lawyer, and I don't play one on TV or webinars, but the terms of service say that the owner cannot review their own business, but it does not say that the manager or any of the employees can't or relatives can't. So the truth is, it's easy to call 4 or 5 of your friends or your cousins or brothers or nieces, nephews, whatever, your kids, and say, can you leave me a review on Google, a 5-star review? I'd say those words, make sure they leave you a 5-star. And say, this is very important to me because I need to build it. So if you're that guy that has only 2 reviews and a 2.0 reputation, so you quickly go get 3, 4, 5-star reviews. Now you just diluted the crap out of it, and now you're up to like a 4.2. Now, you cannot lie. So if your cousin leaves your review and he lives in Omaha and you live in California, he can't say that he's used your business if he hasn't. So don't say that. Don't lie. Just say, I've known Rob for 15 years. He's a great guy, and he has a man of integrity, and he runs a great shop there. I highly recommend using his services. You can do that all day long. That didn't say anything and didn't lie, and you can leave that review, a 5-star review. So if somebody reads it, they're just going to go, oh, okay. They're not going to think much of it. Now, of course, we want specific reviews from your customers. Yes, I went down there to get a mailbox, and they treated me really well, and they took care of me. Fine. Now we want those too, but we're talking low-hanging fruit right now. So I need you to go get 4 or 5 of these low-hanging fruits, like this week or next week, within the next month or so. But let's say by the end of September, you can go do that. It's simple. It's easy to do. Really easy to do. So I would definitely go do that. Exit ask. So when your customers are leaving, they're ecstatic. You can tell the ones that are just, oh, thank you so much. You guys are so wonderful. I say, I just literally do this. I go, hey, take out your phone. And they go, what? I go, take out your phone. And then I tell them to Google my shop name, just like I showed you. And then, can you leave me a review? And then you show them, there's a little blue down arrow, and say, hey, can you leave me a review? And 99% of them have no problem with it. Now, if you say, leave me a review, and you're like, yeah, no problem, we'll do it. And then they go to do it. but you know, they leave, and you know what happens there, right? So we get busy. Life gets in the way, so they don't do it. All right, Ashley's here too. I see it. Okay, got you, Rob. Okay, cool. Keep going. All right, then there's software. We use software. It kind of automates this. We can import your database. It sends them a text and say, hey, would you leave us a review? And it's kind of a cheat way, but it's legal and it's cool. And we have a very, very good success rate of massively growing reviews on purpose. So you want to do that. One of those three or all three of them, you can definitely do that and grow your reviews. So just make sure you're doing this on purpose. This is something you're strategically doing and thinking about. Remember when you have your marketing hat on, how do I go get 4 or 5 more reviews? I think you should have a minimum in this industry, 20 reviews, like just minimum, because people don't start really believing it until like 10 or 12. If you only have 4 reviews, you know, they're like, yeah, maybe. But if you got 20 and they're all 5-star, then cool, you're in there. Now, I would continue to, again, every month try to get a few of them and grow it. In order of importance, I would start with Google Places, Google Maps, right? So that's the 800-pound gorilla, which we'll mention here in a second. And then secondary is Facebook. Reviews are very powerful, and then Yelp would be thirdary. That's not a word. Tertiary, and then city search insider pages on down. And then if you want to go after the other ones, fine. So if you have a loved one that says, "I'll leave you a review," cool. Will you leave me 5 different reviews or the same review on 5 different places? And they'll probably say, "Yeah." Say, "Okay, do it on Yelp, Facebook." So, you know, tell them to do it on all of them. And they can leave the same review. I don't care. Which this is very normal, by the way. They understand that it's very normal for to copy review and move it over to other review sites because they do it in a negative way. Trust me, if there's a bad review, they're going to put it on 4 or 5 of these. And the BBB, I don't have that on there. I love the Better Business Bureau, so I'll tell them to leave a review on BBB. Okay, if you have a bad review, which all of us will get one at one time or the other. I mean, when I first forgot I had like, I don't know, 70 some 5-star reviews, and finally I got one bad review. I was like completely beside myself. I didn't know what to do. It's not the last end of the world. People actually expect you to be human, and so it's almost unbelievable to have a full 5.0 review. Really, nowadays, I mean, there should be somebody who's honest enough in there that you weren't perfect, because none of us are. However, step 1, these are the steps that you need to do. So this is what I would write down. Step 1, I would get a hold of them. I would ask them, I would make amends to them, fix the problem, tell them you're sorry, give their money back, whatever it takes, because it's worth a lot of money. I would pay a lot of money to have them remove it, because it's really hard to overcome that. And it takes, you know, months and months or a year for it to starts to devalue in how much power it has. A negative review really will affect you. So first thing you do is you need to call them, get a hold of them, make amends, and see if they can remove it. If you can't get a hold of them and they won't remove it, either or, the second thing you need to do is try to flag it. I didn't put that on here, but you need to try to flag it. I mean, on the review itself. Here, I can go live again. It's when you have reviews on the side here, you see a little flag. This is inappropriate. So let me tell you, we have pretty good success as an agency, because we're logged in as an agency, and I'm a local guide too, but as an agency, they'll pay attention to it. Now, if you flag it once, they're not going to pay attention to it. But if you get 5 different emails flagging it, then they'll take a look at it. Now, let me tell you what we have success with getting taken off. If it cusses at all, if it makes any threats, if it has horrible English, or it just isn't, coherent sentences, there's good chances that'll get taken down, because somebody, when they have to manually review it. When they manually review it, they're not going to mess with it. They're just going to get rid of it. Yep, that's out of here. If it has no words on it and it says it's a 1-star, no words, definitely flag it. You can there's like a 90% chance that'll get taken off. Probably 100% eventually, but right off the bat. So something like this. So this was 2 weeks ago. It was a 3-star review. There's no words. I'm going to flag it. So you go in here and you put your name on here. This post is hateful, violent, and inappropriate. This post contains advertising spam. It's off topic. This post contains, I would do off topic and then hit submit. Now, you're not, one of them's not going to be enough because it won't even trigger a human being to look at it. That's going to be a Google bot. But if you can get 4 or 5 different people to flag that, then there's a good chance that can be taken off. Okay, cool. I won't dwell on that too much, but definitely you want to try to flag it if you can. Now, if there's details in it and it says, I went to the store and they did this, she was mean, there's really a low chance of getting that taken off, because that's what they want. They want details. And at that point, it's your word against their word. So the third thing you need to do is respond. You need to respond to the review with what you did to solve and rectify the situation. So what I mean by that is You need to say, hey, I'm truly sorry you had a bad experience. We strive hard to have excellent customer service, and that's why we gave your money back. And we felt like we solved your issue at the time. Apparently, but you still left this bad review. So if there's anything else we can do, please call me, the owner of, Pack and Ship. Da 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 da. You see what I'm saying? So you need to do something like that. Take the high road. Do not, if rip on them and say, well, that's, you're a loser. You didn't pay your bill. Those kind of, don't do that. Don't belittle them. But, tell them that you did solve the situation. Because right now at that point when you're, leaving a response, it's not for that person anymore, because we're not going to change their mind, right? You already asked them to remove it. They didn't do it. You tried to get it flagged. It didn't happen. So now we're just leaving a response. So future people who review you or who look at your reviews will see your response and they'll go, yeah, that guy's crazy. They tried, they gave their money back, but then they're still not happy. They'll understand that. And it basically negates that review. So somebody will read it and go, yeah, that makes sense. And they understand that some customers are just kind of crazy out there, right? So they want to see how you handled it. And so that's why you need to respond with what you did to fix it. And then the last, I think number 4, number 5, whatever, I don't know where I'm at. But the last thing you need to do is ask customers for more reviews. You need to dilute it. You need to get once you get a bad review, I'd say you go get 4 or 5 other reviews. And I keep going back to live because once you're on here, you see they only show about 5 at a time. So if you have a bad review, you want to push it way down here. So somebody scrolls down, it's not there. Now they can do the newest, highest, lowest rating. Some people do that, and they'll go to the lowest ratings to read those first. But look, we apologize. You received less than 5-star service in our stores. We work hard to provide the best customer service for everyone. You get what we're doing? I'd like to contact me for more details. I would gladly ensure you work better. You can call me anytime. Tom and Sorno. So this is proving that you can call me anytime. We'll take care of this. So the new people that see this will know that, hey, these guys are trying to take care of them. This Shantee is just not happy. So I hope that, okay, that's enough. I'm beating that dead horse too much, but I just hope you understand and kind of get what I'm saying about it's very important to go get these reviews and protect your reputation, because everything else is the ecosystem. Everything else will be based off of these reviews. All right. And then create a consistent program to acquire more reviews. So you need to be, whether it's your employees or what you're doing, you need to find a way to get new reviews every single week, every single month. All right, sorry, I'm getting a drink here. Okay, people do business with people they know. We have to switch over to the know part now. This is how to grow your circle of influence online. This is a whole different segment. So online, there's lots of ways to get more people to know you, but it could be, we'll go over some of these. But they know you because, all right, got that. This is why you need to grow your circle of influence. So this is my migration pattern in Pensacola. If you type in migration patterns in whatever city you're in, I think this is good numbers for you. They don't do it every year that I know of. I think this is the latest one for me. But you need to see these numbers. So in 2016, we had 27,856 people move into Pensacola. Then in that same year, we had 27,309 people move out of Pensacola, which is crazy. I mean, it's statistically crazy. But so we have a net gain of about 545 or whatever it is, people that moved into Pensacola, basically. The problem is the turnover. So when you've been there, let's say your shop's been there for 10, 15 years, 20 years, you're thinking, I have a great brand. Everybody knows our brand. They know, come see me, here. We've been here for 20 years. They know that. Well, these people, my metro has a 60 to 70% turnover in 5 years. They don't know who I am. There's no brand loyalty, right? These people have only been there a few years. And then a lot of people are moving in town. So you need to be cognizant of that, in the olden days, people didn't move around as much. Now we're kind of in a transient city because we're a big military town. We have a big base here. So we do have more than probably most of your metros, but I bet it's over 50% in 5 years will turn over. So you need to be cognizant that's why you have to do continuously marketing. You have to keep marketing to get the new people to know you and realize that you're there and the things that you do. So I hope that motivates you why you need to do more marketing and to grow your circle of influence. Okay. Part of it is your location though. And I get it. I mean, you guys spend a lot of money on location, right? And you should. Absolutely. You should. So, if you take marketing 101 class, they teach you about cost of exposure. And I don't want to get into all this philosophy, but cost of exposure is everything that you pay to get exposure, which means marketing, which means outbound sales, which means also your location, which means your business cards and your pamphlets, all that stuff. So the cost of exposure would include location. So if your location's on on a dirt road in the backwoods, it's assumed that you need to spend a lot more for marketing, right? I mean, these people got to go out of the way. They got to find you. They're like, holy cow, I don't know where they're at. But so you have to do a lot more marketing so they can know you. Now, the reverse of that, if your location's amazing, it's on the corner with 65,000 cars going by there every day, you may not have to do as much marketing because your location will make up for all that because people will see it and they'll drive by every day and get that. So I hope you get that already. And then, by the way, my marketing 101 class that I used to help teach was 13% cost of exposure of your gross sales, just to give you a number of that. So you take your gross sales, if you do $1 million a year, you should be doing 100, 10%, 130,000. Yeah. 13%, 130,000 a year, which includes your rent or your mortgage, right? And then you got to subtract, all the other stuff that you're doing. But part two, you need to do what networking, which hopefully you're doing. You're involved with your chamber, the BNIs, or you go to the breakfast, those kind of things. You need to be shaking babies and kissing hands. No, strike that, reverse that. You need to be shaking hands and kissing babies. That was on purpose. Okay, word of mouth, referral. That's probably one of your biggest things. And when I ask people how you grow a business, it's word of mouth, or location. I get that. You need to keep doing that. I don't mind that, but that's not a strategic plan how to grow your business, right? You can't really affect that too much unless you're getting in, you have a bullhorn out front of your store. So you need to probably do some other things like traditional media and online marketing. So we don't have time to get into traditional media. I still believe in it. I think you should do it. I actually love little core blast signs, those little, banners and stuff out front of if you have a great location, you can put a banner out front or flags, then do it. It's powerful. It gets people to turn over and look and see you. There's no doubt it's a very powerful and cheap way of doing it. So I still believe that. I do that to my stores for sure. I have retail stores and I put flags and I put banners out. And I switch them out every 6 weeks. But today, all we have time for is really online marketing. I put this in here so you can kind of see the power of it. So why internet marketing and the greatest ROI? It's completely trackable. And of course, word of mouth is always going to be number one, but then emails are very powerful to grow your list and to help, get new customers or get customers to come back. And the networking, which you talked about already, social media, search engine marketing, content marketing, all that stuff is still very powerful. But, direct mail still works. Event sponsorships, print ads, pay-per-click ads, of course, are good. And TV and radio and all those are in there too. But you can see that most of that is taken up with online marketing or email. 97% of prospects will use the internet to find local businesses. Like, I don't think anybody would be willing to argue with me about that. It's kind of a given, but then they don't realize, well, wait a minute, I'm really not doing anything online to get that. So you should be spending the most of your inertia or most of your time, energy, and effort to getting these people, the 97% that are looking for local businesses online. I'd spend a pretty good effort going after those people. And then how many times have you used the internet to find a local business in the last 12 months? 95% use it at least one time in a month, but most people are every day or every week, multiple times to find a local business. So, all right, there's Google. He's a good-looking guy, but 2 trillion searches annually, 2.3 million searches per second, huge market share. And I told you, if Google's an 800-pound gorilla, which they are, Yahoo, Bing would be like a 10-pound gorilla. Yelp would be like a 8-pound gorilla, somewhere in there. And then everything else would be like a 2-pound gorilla. So just put it in perspective. Google by far dominates, 90% market share, 90% market share for mobile, 130 trillion websites, spidered. I don't even know that with a T. I don't even know what that's unfathomable. But then, of course, they're worth over $507 billion. That was a couple years ago, so a lot more. All right, bad news. There is no such thing as push button marketing online. I'm sorry. I wish you could set it and forget it. It doesn't work that way and on anything. And you really have to kind of manage it, monitor it, and adapt because things change all the time. And we'll go into some specifics, but you really want to be careful online with what's going on, all the changes. So SEO organic search marketing. So that word, SEO kind of has a bad connotation. So I don't use it much. I say SEM, or search engine marketing, or we talk a lot about Google Maps, because in our industry, it's all about the maps, right? They're on their phone. They say, the nearest FedEx drop off, or mailboxes near me, those kind of things. And so that's going to be maps. And we'll talk about exactly how to get top of the maps. Okay. So this is how SEO works. Write this down. There's so many things out. This is software. It's out of control. It's absolutely crazy. And the truth is, you don't need all that. You don't need any of that. You just need to give Google exactly what they want. Now, Google does not show their cards, but they're pretty specific on what they do want and what they don't want. So let me start with explaining how crawling and indexing works with Google. So I'm going to give you a quick overview. Some of you guys have no idea what this is. And in my classes, I think it's too funny. A good portion of you guys knew it, but there's a couple in there that have no freaking clue what this is, which is just tells me how old I am, I guess. But okay, so this is called a card catalog. And back in the olden days, if you didn't know, back in the libraries, to find a book, if I wanted to find a specific book, I can look under the author's name, and it may be in one drawer, and I can find the book I want under the author's name. Or I would go in another drawer, and I look up the book name, and then it would have the author's name underneath the book name. So I can search by the book name or the author's name. And it's really cool, different drawers. Well, that's exactly how Google works. They put you in drawers. They would call it an index drawer. So if you're trying to rank for shipping store in Pensacola, Florida, they'll put you in that drawer. Now, sadly, you need to be careful how you're doing that, because there's a much easier way to do it. So there is a drawer for shipping stores, or packing and shipping. And there's a drawer for that under P or S, right? And there's a huge, gigantic drawer, and that's worldwide. Packing and shipping, everything that's indexed in Google is in that drawer for packing and shipping. But that's not the best way to go. The best way to go is the reverse of that. And so there's a drawer for Pensacola. And then underneath the drawer for Pensacola, under P, is packing and shipping. Does that make sense? So it's a much smaller drawer. And I want you to compete. If you're going to compete, I would compete in the smaller drawer and get indexed. Now, you'll get indexed in both either way, but I would specifically geo-modify or geotag the location-based things to compete on a local level. That's what we're trying to do. So there's only two reasons to do anything online. One's human beings. We love them. That's why we post things. We're trying to get people engaged. We want human beings to see them. But a secondary thing that's just as important is Google bots. The reason why we do post, the reason why we do certain things on our websites and stuff, is to show Google what we're about. We need to tell them enough times that we are about this. That way they reward us by ranking us higher on the maps and organics. I put this in here. It's it's a lot of anyway, it's just data sets, but there are over 300 ranking factors that Google admits to, and there's probably more than that. And so we don't know, again, what it is. We have a good idea. Some of this is it. It's trust and authority, link popularity, anchor text, and all that. On page, traffic, conversion, social metrics, which we're always watching. But this is kind of a better, and this is by, if you look down in the right hand corner, it says search engine land. These guys, searchengineland.com, but I trust these guys more than anybody, and they're kind of giving you how it should be laid out. So you get points for having quality content. You see this top one here, content, on-page SEO, and then the architecture of the site, and then the HTML, the coding, if it's mobile compliant, mobile optimized, mobile responsive, you need to have all three of those. So yeah, this is the way we look at what Google wants. And then there's also negative ones like spam and ads and piracy and those kind of things that can hurt you if you're doing the wrong things. So I don't want to get into too much of this. You don't need to really know all that. You just want to give Google what they want. And here's what they want. So on site, which means on your website, they want relevance. I can't say the word relevance enough. So your keywords need to be relevant to your website, which needs to be relevant to the searches that they search for. So if you do packing and shipping, but you also do mailboxes and you also do, gifts and things like that, then that all needs to be displayed on your website prominently and making sure people understand. And you do that by title tags, description tags, H tags, those kind of things. So you want to make sure that you're extremely Google friendly on page. Now, if you're lucky enough to have the RS website or one of them, I'm telling you right now, it's good out of the gates. It's 85% of the way there, maybe a little bit more, because it does this for you. It's mobile, but it's even getting better by the way they're updating it. But they have the markups and the tags and the descriptions, and you can put all that in there. But I say it's only 85% of the way there because you need to localize it even more. It does localize it some. It'll put your city in there and it'll put your name in there. But you need to get in there and put in more specifics on your website, an About Us page. I can't tell you enough. I can't jump up and down and scream enough that you need to add an About Us page on there. And a lot of times you just have a Contact Us page, because the second most trafficked, that's the word, page on most sites is going to be the About Us page. There's 4 types of people, and I got to get into this real quick. When you're dealing with online marketing, any marketing, I guess in the world, there's 4 types of people, and the alpha males and females, we call them the Eagles. They're 30,000 foot view. They hit hard and fast, and they make decisions very fast. They will come to your site. They just need a phone number or a form filled. They're moving on. You got about 4 seconds before they're moving on. However, the other 75% are not that, and they're going to look around a little bit. The opposite of the eagle is going to be the dove. That's what my wife is. She's lovey-dovey. She wants to know about you. It is an emotional attachment. She wants to see what you've done in the world. She wants to see your philanthropic endeavors. She wants to see who you're involved with. She wants to read your reviews and see how well you did. She wants to read if you're in Rotary, or if you did a Habitat for Humanity, or if you have a puppy, a dog. That means a lot. She'll like you more because you have a dog. I guarantee it. It's just the way it is. Some people are that way, which is fine. And so you need to make sure your website portrays that so you can bond with them. It's a bonding thing, right? Remember, people do business with people. And so you need to have an About Us page that explains that who you are as a person, so I can get to know you, like you, and trust you more. So if you've won an award or some philanthropic thing that you've done, you need to post that on the website as well as social media, which we'll talk about. You need to, to do that, make sure they can find and research that. So put that on there. Now, the other 2 types of people, one is a parrot. They're the ones that are loud, obnoxious, and colorful, right? Like a parrot. They just want to be heard. So you need to have a place where they can ask questions, or they need, have a phone number when they call. You need to hear them out. These people. They don't really need an answer. They just want to be heard. And tell you. And so cool. Hear them out. Say yep, and give them that feedback that they want, just like a parrot, and they'll be cool, and then they'll do business with you. You can do that fairly easily. And on a website, you can do that by chat bots. You can have a little chat form, or you can have a form to answer questions, or you can just have your phone number prominent. And then the last one is the owl. And the owl is of course, the wise one. They're going to read the terms of service. They want to know what happens if I want to get out of my mailbox contract after 6 months, right? So you need to have that somewhere for them. The good news, you can bury it. It doesn't have to be anywhere. Like, they'll find it. It could be 4 pages deep with a little small asterisk, but it needs to be in there. So you need to have that, and make sure you talk to them, because that will settle them down to do business with you. Until they get every answered question, an owl is not going to buy anything. And you probably know these people when they come in. They're the ones asking crazy questions, like, what happens if this happens? Like, okay, yeah. So you need to just be prepared to answer questions for the owl. So that's the 4 types of people. And of course, we're all kind of a combination between these. And I don't mean to get off on some, what are we calling that? I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist or anything like that. A sociologist even, but this makes a lot of sense in the form of sales and marketing. But so when we build websites and when we're doing posts for social media, we keep in mind these 4 types of people, and we want to address all 4 of them. We don't want to cater just one or the other, because we want to make sure that we're getting all 4 of them. Okay, so that's enough for on-site. That's what you need to do on-site. You need to make sure you're real and relevant, and then take care of all that. Now, off-site, to rank on Google, you need to do what's called off-site authority, which is inbound links. Now, inbound links, let me go back one, I'll show you. Could be blogs, could be articles, press releases, videos, podcasts, photos, social media citations, and a bunch of secret sauces you can do. These are things that are pointing back to you. So I have an example here. We sent out this press release. FedEx shipping company in Pensacola, Florida continues to offer Love Pop greeting cards. It doesn't seem too excited. No, it's not sexy, but we sent it out. I think if I click on it, it'll go. Yeah. So so we sent it out to Digital Journal. It got picked up a bunch of things, but you can see FedEx shipping locations, Pensacola Post Office. We're trying to rank for those, and then of course we have a citation and a link back and all that stuff. So you can see that what we're doing is we're tying our pack and ship to those keywords. Pretty clever, right? So if you go to the next one, it got picked up in 159 news sites And so you can't read them. I'd put them in here, but they're TV sites, newspapers, radio stations. They picked up in the Associated Press. We sent it to the Associated Press, and they picked it up and put it out there. So very cool. And that's just a great way of building authority. So I'm trying to give you an idea of how to build authority offsite. So this has nothing to do with his webpage, right? But it's just pointing back to his website, Pensacola Shipping Company, and it's pointing back to his website. Trying to give you an idea. Okay, when we did that, we did it for toner supplies. He also sells toner and stuff like that. And you can see he does pack and ship, and then he also has the ink stuff. So threw him through the roof. 2 locations. We quickly, we only did it for the 1 location, but the other location came along for the ride. All right, how do you get to the top of maps? So we're kind of been talking about that. The first step 1, you need to be verified. So click on this. Google.com/business and just check to see if you're verified. It will tell you if you're not. It'll say verified now. It'll make you search for your business. Just make sure you're verified. And I think most everybody's verified nowadays, but every now and then I find about 5% of the shops are not verified. It's baffling to me that they're not verified yet. So I always put that in there. So you need a phone call or a postcard to get verified. That's the only way to get verified. If you fill it out and then don't get a phone call or a postcard, it's there, it's live, you can see it, it's just still not verified. So you want to be careful of that. Not to scare you or anything, but that a competitor can come in and take that over and literally just get your phone calls or whatever, and they can send them to their page. But you don't want that to happen. You want to keep it, you want to have control of that. Make sure you have the correct category. The category is what you're picking. So I like to go live. I can't do this in my webinars, but I like to go live so I can show you quick as I can. So shipping and mailing service in Ferry Pass, Florida. You can see what he has here. That's a category. Does that make sense? So you can set that in there. So by the way, if you don't have it verified, there's going to be a thing right here. It'll say, "Are you the business owner?" It'll instead of suggest an edit, it'll say, "Are you the business owner?" That means it's not verified. Great way to test right there. Okay, cool. All right, so you want to go get more 5-star reviews. That's part of the algorithm to ranking in maps. So if you want to get ranked up in the maps, you got to get more reviews than your competitor. It's an algorithm, right? Remember math. And then make sure you have the correct category, as I mentioned. All right, I got to go back into, sorry. Holy cow, I got reminders, everything going on. All right, everybody's still good there? Yeah, I still got a lot of you on here, so I guess we're still good. We're recording, so we'll keep rolling unless somebody tells me we're not good. I'm going to change this. Okay, go back and do that. All right. Yeah, I already showed you. Shipping and mailing service. That's probably what your category should be. You can have up to 5, I believe now. It changes. I think it was 3, and now it's 5. But so if you have secondary services, you can put gifts shop in there if you do gifts. If you are a mailbox, I'm pretty sure you can do a mailbox one. I'm not sure. They make you can only do so many of them. You can't just pick it out at random. But you can pick some other categories. But your first one probably should be shipping and mailing. Fill everything out. You would be amazed how many people are not filling out their hours or their payments accepted. And it's going to ask you if you have a parking lot. Yes. It's going to ask you, if you take Visa, MasterCard, whatever, all that. Make sure you fill all that out. I can't stress enough. Since it's Google bots are judging you, and they're going to reward you by the person who fills it out the most. I know it's sad, but it's a big part of the algorithm. It's not everything. Remember, there's reviews and all this other stuff I told you about. But a big part of the reason why they put you at the top of maps is how much you fill out. So when you go to the photos, and it's going to ask you if you have inside photos, outside photos, product photos, team photos, put something in each of those. And what we do, if you hire us, we would look directly at your competitor that's beating you and see exactly how many they have. If they have 5 inside, we're putting 6 inside. If they have 2 outside, we're putting 3. So it's math. So we just got to, we got to beat them on each of these individually. And of course, my favorite thing that most people don't do is they don't upload a video. So please just go do like a 30-second walkthrough of your showroom or whatever of a testimonial of a customer. I don't care what it is, but make a video and upload it. Because that will boost you too. So that's one of the things you can do. And look, this came directly from Google. It says the more photos we add, the more of our business will stand out online. This might help to increase our ranking in search. Google wrote that. If Google tells me that this might help increase my ranking, then I'm going to do it, right? So I think you should too. All right, citations. So citations are other websites like these citing, C-I-T-I-N-G, your name, address, and phone number, and possibly your website. So you can go to moz.com and check your citations, and they'll tell you, if you have this, have that. I would not sign up for it. I would do, just do it to check it, but it's going to ask you to, hey, if you pay us $300, we'll do it for you. Don't do that. You can do it yourself, but you just go to each of these pages. I don't know if these are in order anymore. They're probably not, but go sign up for citations. So we build about 10 to 12 a month for each of our clients. You don't need to do 100 in 1 month or even, 50. Just do 5 or 6 a week or whatever when you can, and sign up for these. Some of these are going to stick, some are not. You have to verify them, and they're kind of a pain in the butt. They take about 5 to 7 minutes each, or maybe longer. You got to verify it. And some of them, they want you, like I think Yellow Pages, they have to give you a phone call. Yelp, they definitely will call you. So they'll call you back, and you have to verify it with a PIN number. You know how that works. Anyway, it sounds stupid, and you're going to go, why am I doing this? Well, most people, like not very many people are going to go to yellowbot.com, but there's some, but it's more about these Google bots that I was telling you about. So that's why on a scale of 1 to 10, how important it is? Well, these over here are very important, right? Google, Super Pages, Yahoo, InfoUSA, but then the smaller ones, maybe a 1. It's probably on a scale of 1 to 10, it's worth 1 or 2. These are worth 4 or 5. Of course, Google and Facebook, those are all 10s. You need to fill those out. But just kind of give you an idea of how important that is. So if you have an RS store, your website is awesome. However, it's just a billboard in the desert if nobody sees it. So if you're not ranking and nobody can find it online, then it really doesn't do any good. So that's kind of what we're talking about, is how to get on the Google Maps and get people to find it. This is a way to get more people to know you, right? So this is how you grow your circle of influence, because new people coming into town, they don't know your name. They don't know, they're not loyal to any brand. All they're doing is searching packing and ship stores in Pensacola, or shipping stores near me, or FedEx drop-offs near me, right? That's what they're doing. They have no loyalty to anything else. And so what you want to do is make sure that you pop up so they can pick you in that list. All right, I got to move on. This is the third part of our thing. So how do we get people to like you? So how do we get more people to like you? And I would argue, social media is a great way to get them to like you, and online. And I put on there in real life too. We want them to like us in real life too. So let's talk specifically about social media. This is outdated actually, because Google Plus is no longer. Sorry. This is what you need to do right here. This is each of the software you need to buy, and then you need to do it. I'm just kidding. I just think it's cool to have it overwhelming. That's basically social media in a nutshell right there, which is overwhelming. This is what happens in 1 minute, 60 seconds online. 4.5 million videos are viewed on YouTube in 60 seconds. Wow. Facebook, 1 million people logged in on Facebook in 1 minute. 3.8 million searches, which we already talked about. Netflix. Wow. A lot of people are Netflix and then chilling. Okay. So yeah, this rest, I was just trying to give you some stats of what happens online. Engage. So I'm going to leave this here. You can go back when you're in the replay and read this if you want to, because I'm going to get into the details. This is kind of like an overview. I'm going to get into the algorithm itself. This is the algorithm of Facebook, different than the algorithm of Google, but it's still an algorithm math. So it's basically works off of affinity, weight, and time decay. So affinity is the relationship between the user and the post. You'll know that, let's say you haven't seen a friend's post in a long time on Facebook, and then you go find their page and you post on it and click on it. All of a sudden, you'll start seeing more of their stuff. That's called affinity. And Facebook thinks they think they know what you want to see, so they show you things that they think you want, and they don't show you things that they don't think they want. Well, how you overcome that is you need to go comment and look at comment and smile or like or whatever your friends' pages to get more engagement or that affinity, build that affinity up. So you need to purposely go do that. So you can't just be voyeurism meaning you can't just watch and not engage. Otherwise, they will not show you up to them too, vice versa, because it works both ways, that weight between both of you. Part 2 is how people talk about the post. That's the weight of the post. So weight is to get more weight, that's the W right here, is how they interact with it. So if they like it, now there's really no, the like, the thumbs up doesn't really give any value. Let's say on a scale of 1 to 100, it probably gives you a 1 nowadays. I'm not saying any, but it maybe has a little bit of value. But the smiley face or the frowny face or the angry face, that does give you a little more value. But the biggest one is going to be share. A comment. Well, comment is better than a like. Comments even, it's definitely an interaction, right? Somebody commented on it. But then a share is the actually, that's the goal. That's the apex of what can happen. And that will throw the weight of the post through the roof. So the more shares you get, huge amount of weight. So my little hint to you is, let's say your business posts a post, you should share it from your personal page. That will gain, the weight will automatically go up dramatically. Plus it'll go to your page, and then it'll actually build up from there. So, and then time decay, just like an old newspaper. Nobody likes to read the day old news. So same way in online. Most people don't go back a few days. So how do you get time decay to come back up? Well, you comment on it, or somebody shares it, it pulls it back up to the top. So it slowly starts fading away until somebody comments on it and shares it, and then it pulls it back up to the top. So that's how you work with time decay. This is a little better slide of that, but that's how you get EdgeRank. So it's called EdgeRank, is the name of the algorithm. Okay, so this is basically what I already said to you. Likes, comments, shares. You want your ultimate brass ring is shares. How do you get prospects to like you? So engage and interact. I already talked about that, but I'm going to specifically tell you what to do. Association means you want to associate with the local things that are going on. So for me, and I'll show you specifically what I would do, but you want to make sure that you're engaged in other things in your location, in your city, and I'll tell you exactly what that is. Do something cool. We'll talk about that too. Okay, change your header. You'd be amazed at how many just leave the same header for years and years and years and years. Do not do that. We change ours out for our clients 8 times a year. We change them mostly with holidays. So of course we have a different one for New Year's, a different one for Valentine's, one for 4th of July, or Easter, 4th of July, Thanksgiving. You get it. We'll change out the header of it, and sometimes we do videos with it, and that way it gets attention. So make sure you change out your header. You can do a custom URL, so make sure you put your store name behind it. So it'll be facebook.com/ pack and ship Pensacola, or whatever it is. Make sure you have the custom URL. That'll help you. Fill your profile out completely. I think this is a theme. So everywhere you go, fill it out completely. You'd be amazed how many people just put name and email, and then they don't do anything else. So if you're there, take the time to always fill it out, or at least go back. Now that I've said this, you can realize anything you sign up for online, just make sure you fill it out completely. Upload pictures, upload a photograph, upload a video, make sure you put in all your locations, make sure you put in your, whatever, all your keywords in a description and the major description. Fill it all out. We find that most people don't, probably 70-75% do not fill it out completely. And then nowadays on Facebook and even Instagram, you can add tabs. You can do some pretty cool things like shop now, offers, and events. You should be doing that. And then make sure your logo fits. And guess what I did? I'm such a nice guy. Ta-da! We made this, my social media team. I didn't make it. I have no idea what the sizes are. But so here's what your minimum and maximum sizes are for a cheat sheet that you should have for the sizes of your cover photo, group photo, profile picture, and that'll make it easier to make it, if you know what I mean. So just do a 170 by 170 profile picture, and it'll fit right in there perfectly. That should help you out. I put this in there because everybody asked me. It's a great question. When should I post? When should I post? Well, the best times to post on Facebook is 1 to 4 p.m. And I wish I would put it on there, but the secondary is 9 p.m. Kind of like down here. I put it over here. Where did I put it? 5 to 6. I put it after 5 p.m. on Instagram. But 9 p.m. when people go to bed, right when they go to bed between 9 and 10 p.m., Facebook's second most traffic is right before they go to bed. I guess people look at their Facebook at the time. All right, sorry. I had to take a drink. Okay. Valuable content. I can't dwell on this too much more. We only got a few more minutes left here. So what should you post? That's the next thing people are going to ask me. What do I post as a retail shipper? What do I post? So I think you should schedule posts. Cool thing is on Facebook, and you can do this through Hootsuite or Buffer or one of these other posting platforms. They'll allow you to schedule it out. Even nowadays, you can schedule out some stuff on Instagram. You got to have the right software, but you can schedule it out in the future. So I would lay in holiday posts. I'm pretty sure this year, Christmas will land on the 25th, and Thanksgiving around the same time, and we know when that's going to happen. So you can create a Christmas photo or a post and say Merry Christmas from all of us at Pack and Ship Valdosta or wherever you're at. And you can schedule that now. Like, I think you should be planning this and doing this. Remember that 1 hour a week that you're going to do for marketing, or 1 hour every couple of weeks, whatever it is. So just schedule it out. and put those posts in there. So holiday posts, I think there's going to be 1 to 2 a month, maybe 3 if you want to get aggressive, because National Bacon Day is a good one. You need to lay that in there. If you can find a clever way to tie it into your business, let's say you sell something that makes sense, or National Bring Your Dog to Work Today if you have a dog at work. Some of you guys do. Or fun, something fun, then make it fun. I love it. I mean, any of that stuff to make you human and fun, then do it. But schedule it in there. You don't need to be doing this when it happens. And you certainly don't need to be planning or playing on Facebook every day. So I want you to lay these in there. In fact, 80% of the posts you're going to lay in there. Part 2, you need to lay in some quotes. I'll show you some that we do, but it's weird. Quotes will get interactions. Remember we talked about the affinity, and we also talked about the actual algorithm of what makes a post go farther. Well, a quote will get lots of shares. It'll get a lot of comments, and it'll get a lot of shares. So if you quote Einstein or Abraham Lincoln or whatever, I don't care who you quote, but just throw out some quotes there. It's amazing what the kind of interaction you'll get. So what you're trying to do is get them to interact, right? So quotes. So I would schedule 2 a month. There you go. There's 4 posts a month so far. So schedule, design, create, and schedule 2 posts a month for the whole year. And now you got 24 posts on quotes, 24 posts on holidays. The next one is a price an item. This is something you can do. I don't need you to discount it. If you want to, you can, but I wouldn't. It doesn't really matter actually. So if you want to do 10% off, 20% off, but I would just say, hey, we do mailboxes. We have mailboxes available, for $10 a month or whatever. So throw it out there, put the price an item, and just trust me on the price part of it. A lot of people fight me with that. It doesn't have to be cheap because some people are not even they're not going to search it. Remember, only 25% are actually 9% to 12%, which is the alpha males, females, but they'll search the price. The rest of them don't care in general. They don't even know. They have no clue what it costs. And so if you say mailboxes are only $12 a month or whatever it is, cool. I didn't know that. Great. I'm going to go get a mailbox. I didn't even know. Or did you know we have these gift items for this? So I need you to schedule 2 of those a month, price an item a month. And it could be just your services. It could be printing. It could be, I really don't care what it is. I would vary it up. And if you can make it relevant to the time at hand, back to school special or back to school printing, or, when colleges get out, I know a lot of you guys ship, this didn't make any sense to me until I started working with you guys, but when college kids get out of school, you ship everything home, which is amazing to me. Or I guess you ship it there too. But so yeah, I would be marketing that like crazy, and at the end of the school year. So those make sense. So price an item, schedule that in for the year, and you're done. And then local stories. I need you to be human. I know you do cool stuff. I know it. I talk to each one of you, and every time I draw it out of you, like, you've done some cool stuff. So again, if we talked about this earlier about your website, if you have sponsored a golf tournament or a ball team or something, you need to post that. Hey, we're proud to sponsor the Little League team of, whatever. If you are, like I said, if you did some philanthropic endeavor, if you donated money, if you anything you do that's cool, you need to let the world know about that. I know it's hard to brag about yourself, but that's the stuff that gets me to like you more. Remember, this is the whole context of social media, is that I like you more. So you need to tell me about you and the things that you do. I know they're like, well, that's not relevant to my business. I get that. But it is, though, in my eyes. It is, because you're telling me about what you're doing in the community. And remember, there's a certain percentage of those people out there, mostly does, but also the other ones, the owls and the other people, they bond with you more knowing that you did this, you did these things. And the other thing we talked about, and it's always good, is a lot of you guys have celebrities that come into your store. And I don't necessarily mean national celebrities or international celebrities. I mean like local celebrities. So the local high school, football coach comes in and ships something. Take a picture with him and say, hey, Coach Smith was in here today. Go Jaguars. Hope they win this year or something like that. Do that, because they may not know you, but they know Coach Smith. They like Coach Smith. And they'll see this post and they'll go, oh, cool, I like them more because Coach Smith uses them, so I might as well use them. You get that? So it's called the association, and you're just associating yourself with these local celebrities. So I do it with local car dealerships, the local mayor, the sheriff. I mean, anybody I can tie myself to, I'm going to tie myself to, because there's people that like them. And be careful. I mean, politicians, you don't want to turn anybody off. I mean that in the nice possible way. I mean, again, you don't want to reflect anybody or push somebody away. But, I think you're pretty safe in most cases. If you have a celebrity, then take a picture with them and post it. Hopefully it's in your shop and you have your name behind them and those kind of things. Okay, so how do you get them engaged? I love humor. We did this for a couple of our pack and ship stores, and it got a huge amount of traction. It's just everybody gets it. Now that has nothing to do with packing and shipping, nothing, but it's funny, and it's Father's Day. It was a Father's Day post. Happy Father's Day. So a lot of people, they were Happy Father's Day, and they laugh. Oh, my daughter did this, or my dad, my son did this. And so it got incredible engagement. Anytime you can get them to laugh and get them to engage, that's exactly what you want. Now, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Most of you guys will not know who these people are. I'm the guy on the left. I was 25 pounds heavier now. I don't like this picture. I was weighing too much. So anyway, the guy in the middle is what matters. His name is Bobby Bowden. He was the FSU, Florida State University coach for, I think, 78 years or something. I don't know, a long freaking time. But, most winningest coach, And he's the guy that gave me the award. Now, I think if you look at him there, I don't think he has any clue where he's at, and he might have just pissed his pants. I'm just kidding. He just took a picture with me, but I'm going to tie myself to him. Now, in the South, I live in the South, he is a big deal, and he's awesome. So I'm cooler now that I'm sitting next to him. Well, the guy on the right, his name's Clay Ingram. He's actually a congressman, Clay Ingram. So now I'm with two cool guys, and I get to tie myself to people, local celebrities that they do. And we won the Small Business of the Year, and I got huge mileage out of that because I sent it to the press release. I sent it everywhere. You could do the same thing. Just make sure when you have somebody cool that you're taking pictures and you're posting it. Get it? Got it? Good. Okay. All right, we're wrapping it up here. So you want to do curated content. Curated content is if you were taking another blog post, let's say it's a blog post on, from FedEx announcing some new service that they're doing, then take that blog post and put it on your Facebook page or on your Instagram or both, and send it out there. Now, I would always have a sentence or two and say, hey, our industry is changing. Check out the new latest and greatest, whatever, and then post to the link. So make sure you're just not posting a link, that you actually have a comment about the post. So saying that, we're at the RS Expo show and had an excellent time. Check out the new package hub, that announcement that was in Bloomberg that Brandon announced. So you put that in there, check out the new package hub. Okay, cinemagraphs. These are GIFs that move. This is a little more advanced, having great, we're having great luck with this. Lots of engagement. It just moves a little bit. It's like an animated GIF, but it catches people's attention. And of course, Facebook likes it. The algorithm likes it a lot. And so does Instagram. It's pretty interesting. So we're doing a lot more of that. I'm just giving you some advanced stuff now. Auto start videos. You want to make sure they start, and that there's not going to be any audio. A lot of times what we'll do is we'll have a little text at the bottom says turn your audio on or turn the speakers on, because the speakers will not be on even though it auto starts. And then contests are great. We'd love to have contests to give stuff away. You can do the same thing, give away some prizes. Polls, we love that too. Ask people to share. You'd be amazed what happens. This is a long time ago we did, but we asked, it was breast cancer awareness. We asked somebody to share this update, and you'd be amazed how many shares will happen if you ask. Here's a FedEx thing. So this is a curated content that I mentioned. It was from bizjournals.com, but we took the link and we posted it. Then FedEx expands their same day delivery to 1,800 cities. So you can do the same thing. Just take their press release or FedEx's blog post or even UPS or USPS, whatever, and then you're going to post that on your site. Now, 1 or 2 of those a month. I don't want a bunch, but a couple a month you can do that. It's going to be relevant. It needs to be high quality, but then post that. And I'll wrap it up here. Trivia works pretty good. Infographics. Infographics are like, you probably seen them there. They just have a bunch of pictures and stuff and explaining stats. Works really well. People like it because they're visually sexy. Blog posts, of course, are good to post. Motivation Mondays, we do those. I think we do Fun Fact Fridays, which we love. I'll show you some here in a second. Comedy I already talked about. Something like this. This is Joe Guerrero. If he's on here, if he's, my hat's off to you. This is good. I don't think it's copyrighted. You can use it, but you got to be able to get away with this. If this is your humor, you got to be careful. You don't want to make anybody mad, but I think this is clever. Cats. I just put that in it because you can't go wrong with cats. This had 139,000 shares and 146,000 likes. So. You put some cats on it. We didn't do this, by the way. I'm not claiming that. I'm just saying that the cats will get you some shares. I don't know why. Throwback Thursdays, leading questions. Oh, I like this. We've done this before. So what was your first package? What was your first letter you ever got? And you get some good engagement. Some people, or what was the last package you got? And usually it's from Amazon. So you have to say, what was the last package you got that wasn't from Amazon? And it was from grandma and they sent me this. It's just a way to get people to engage. Tips of how to package and ship things. Did you know you can put a package label on a Frisbee and ship it, or whatever, on a bank bag? I used to ship bank bags. Did you know you can put a package label on a bank bag and ship it? Those kind of things. Behind the scenes, showing people what you do, like a bunch of boxes stacked up, because we like to know about your business. I want to know what you're doing behind the scenes. And then customer picks. I absolutely love customer picks. So these are all just ideas of posts that you can do. And we definitely post reviews every single month too. Hey, just got a new review from this customer. So you can do the same thing. Let me go live here real quick. How are we doing on time? Yeah, we're running a little long here, but that's okay. I want to get this recorded so that way you guys can fast forward and skip whatever you want on there. So I have, this is a report that we do. So we do analytics. This is mailbox tour, but you can kind of show them analytics, and you can go to each post that we do and you can see which ones get more engagement. But these are the posts that I was talking about. So Christmas in July, happy Independence Day. That's a holiday that we lay in. Did you know some people did not begin to use zip codes until 1963? So Fun Fact Fridays, that's what I was telling you about. How to prepare and send packages. This is going to be a blog post. Services. So I'm just giving you ideas of kind of some of the stuff that we do. Yeah, so that's I need to move on because we're getting a little longer. I just want to give you some ideas. Okay, cool. So pretty much done. That's social media. If you're asking questions, I put this in this. Should questions work better than how questions? So if you're going to ask a question, make sure you use it. Questions are great, absolutely great for getting engagement. So, and then I like this. This post did really well. Lines this big at the post office. I know a lot of you guys are doing that. You're competing against the post office, which it's a great way to go after that. And then, of course, the rate increase. You want to make sure you mention that. Invite your friends. I gotta do this. So, gotta do this because enough of you guys are not doing this, or like it's an aha moment to enough of you that if I need to just show you real quick. So go to your center, go to your page. And then right here, it says invite your friends. It's amazing how many people don't know this. You pull it up and you invite your friends to like your page. And if you've never done this or haven't done this in a few months, you need to do it. Like I would do it every few months. And you'll be amazed at how many will grow. It'll grow that business. He's got a bunch of other things on here, but you need to definitely do that. And then this is called a pop-up. This is a message center. It's a little more advanced, but you need to do that too. And this is the parrot. They want to be heard. So you'd be amazed at who people use this, and they'll type in messages and will want to talk to you online. So go ahead and do that if you want to do it. While I'm here, you need to go to type in your name, type in your city. And so once you just typed in your city, all these things are going to then pull up, and there's going to be groups. There's going to be all kinds of things. So I would follow anything that's relevant. Visit Pensacola, Florida, VIP Pensacola, downtown, all these things. As you see, I've liked them so we can see their posts. So what we're trying to do is tie into there, because a lot of times there's something relevant and I can make posts to these pages. So especially if something comes up, I definitely post it to the jobs pages, right? But the marketplace. So for instance, in the marketplace, you got Pensacola Marketplace. You can be posting your price and item thing here. So if you do a price and item, post it here. Come get it at, Pack and Ship, whatever. So don't be afraid to do that. And I think you'd be amazed at kind of response you get on that. It's just another way to get out in front of people. All right, so I'm going to wrap it up here. I know I've gone on a lot longer than I wanted to, but I get excited to tell all these stories. Smartphones, I don't have to tell you about mobile. Mobile's humongous. It's everything we talked about is you should be thinking that it's going to be done on a mobile phone, because majority of this is done on mobile phone, especially when they're searching for you, especially when they're doing social media. It's going to be on a mobile phone. So there's 4.78 billion phones in use, 3.2 billion own a toothbrush, if that tells you the priority of a cell phone. And then this, raise your hand if this is you. If this is you, and most people don't admit it, but most people are using it in the bathroom. So just understand what's happening when they're looking at your posts. So a man who stops advertising to save money is like a man who stops the clock to save time. It doesn't happen. You need to do marketing. This is what you can't be doing this, right? You cannot be doing this. You need to be moving ahead and put that marketing hat on and going from there. Okay, 3 pillars of success: mindset, skill set, get off your asset. So I gave you all 3 of these. Please go implement and make a promise to yourself you're going to do one of these things. Remember the upward spiral. So as you implement, you're going to start seeing success. I see this all the time. And then you'll want to do more of it. And then you go, all right, what else can I do? What else can I do? And then you grow your business. Then eventually you can hire somebody internally to do this, or hire an outside agency like us to do this. And that way it continues to grow on purpose, and you can free yourself up to do what you do best. So in my business, and this is probably true for you, and so maybe not, but this is exactly what I wanted. This is me, and I wanted the pot of gold. And so I went to these seminars, I listened to these webinars, and I did these trainings. I talked to people, and I'm like, hey, how do I get to the pot of gold? And they'll say, well, you need to do this. And so I started doing that. And then of course life got in the way and I stopped. I didn't get to the pot. I'm like, oh, I implemented a little bit for a couple days, couple weeks, and then I stopped. Then I went to a new seminar, I went to an expo or something, or I watched a webinar, I talked to somebody else, and I got excited again. And then I tried the next thing and I didn't complete it. Then I tried the next thing and I didn't complete it. Maybe this is you. I don't know. Maybe not. But what happened for me, what changed everything in my life, was when I realized that there's a lot of ways to success. And the stuff that I've given you today is no doubt a way to success. It's not the only way. It is a way. And I promise you, we can show you success from, over a dozen of our clients doing this. But no matter what you do, I just want you to pick a road or two and stick with it until you get there. Stick with it until you get there. Stick with it until you get there. And then you can move on and do the next thing and next thing. And if you're like me, if you can't do that because you're so busy, you get drawn away, you need to have somebody else do that. And again, it could be internally, it could be outside, it could be an agency like us, it could be a nephew, but stick with it. And these things, these tactics, these steps that I've given you will get you to the pot of gold. So hope you understand. So I put 101 on there. There's 101 ways to grow your business. I'll be glad to send that to you. If you would like, and a lot of it's, there's half of it's, not quite half, but about half of it's online and half of it's offline, somewhere around there. We'll teach you how to grow your business, and you can kind of look at different ways. You don't need all of them. I just went over about 30 of them here. But it's a nice little thing that I have on my board. It's right next to me always. And I'm always thinking when I'm putting my marketing hat, what else can I do to grow my business? So some is always better than none. Statistically, that's true. I asked my accountant, some is always better than none. So if you implement something out of this, it'll be better than doing nothing. So I just want you to take ground a little bit and do something. Because in the city of blind people, the one I'm in is king. And in your industry, it doesn't take much to pull ahead. And not trying to insult anybody, but I mean, really, this industry really hasn't done a lot of this stuff in an aggressive way. Nobody's really, I can't say nobody. In some markets, there's a few people really doing a great job, but most markets, no. The answer is no, especially these medium markets that really nobody's aggressive in. They don't need to be. Everybody's kind of doing okay. So if you just get a hold of this and get aggressive, I promise you'll kick some butt. So thank you for coming. Have a prosperous and awarding 2019, unless you have other plans. Okay, so I'm going to stop this for a second. I do want to do this before I forget it. So there's only a few people on here, but this is for the recording as well. If you go to prosperousim.as.me, this right here, prosperousim.as.me, you're going to get my schedule. And what's really cool, this really is connected to my hip. This is on my phone. This is my calendar. And I say, I would love to talk to you, pick a time. So what I want to do is like a basic strategy session. Probably, we don't need an hour. That's going to charge you if you try to do an hour. But just do 30 minutes or 10 minutes and do a strategy session. And what it will do is it finds a spot in my calendar where I have some time. So you could pick, next Tuesday. Obviously, Monday is a holiday, so I'm not around. But you can pick some time, and Thursday I'm a little bit open, but you can spend 15, 20, 30 minutes with me. I can reverse engineer what you're doing. I can do all this and kind of see if this is something that we can help you with. If the answer is no, the answer is no. I've done dozens of these already since the expo, or over a dozen, and a couple for sure. Like you're doing fantastic. Keep going. You don't need our help. And then some other ones are like, hey, we need your help, and we've already signed up a bunch of people to help, and I want to do the same. I want to offer the same to you. So we'll be glad to help you. Now, the package that we are selling from the show is good till the 31st. So, I mean, that's 2 days away. But here's what I'll do. If you schedule, because my schedule, I'm not even available until next Tuesday. Everything is complete. I have so many booked tomorrow and Friday that I can't handle anymore. Every little time slot is gone. So I'm fine with that. If you book an appointment with me next week, I'll hold those prices, or even the week after. I don't care. You hit more times. As long as you schedule an appointment with me, we do a strategy session. And then if you want our packages, only if, I'll keep the prices for you. However, because we can't onboard more than like a dozen at a time. And we already got that. So we so the next week, maybe do another dozen. So if we get 30 of these locations, remember there's 380 of that was at the show. It's going to be a month out before we can even onboard. So sooner than better. But what I'll do is I'll hold the prices for you. If you do a strategy session and you say, hey, I really want to do this, can you help me? And then I'll keep the prices. However, if you don't book a strategy session with me and you try to get on later, I got to go back to the original prices. So just in all fairness to everybody else that we're onboarding and be down the road. So, okay. So if you want to do that, it's again, prosperousim.as.me, prosperousim.as.me. It gets my schedule, and you'll get, oh, looks like somebody just did it. All right. Awesome. Thank you. Yes, I'll put you on the calendar and we'll go from there.